became quite an underground magician, quite a celebrated name in magic, with his card skills, some exceptional card skills like that. He is celebrated. He is one of our magicians of Britain who appeared and went down a storm on the Penn and Teller Foolers series. So please welcome Daniel MADISON.
I am Daniel MADISON. Thanks for being here. Thank you for choosing to spend a little bit of time with me. I really do appreciate it. In my last video, I announced I was going to be doing a talk at the Bradford Magic Circle. Now that was a few days ago and I filmed everything. What a strange experience, what a bizarre experience, simply because I'm not used to doing that kind of stuff and I didn't know how it was gonna go. I didn't write anything for it, I just knew what the subject was and I had an idea in my mind what I was gonna talk about. They asked me to do a talk about YouTube, specifically magic on YouTube, sleight of hand on YouTube, and I just didn't feel like I was qualified enough to talk about YouTube, simply because I haven't been active enough on YouTube. I'm still very much in my early days, despite being a member of YouTube since 2008, 10 years ago. I haven't really used YouTube properly or to my advantage as a platform until this year. So it was a little bit strange being asked to talk about something that I didn't really know too much about, that I'm still in the very early days of learning about myself. So instead I took the idea and turned it around a little bit and spoke about the digital platform, the idea of existing in a digital format. Like I exist digitally. The only time you ever see me is on a screen. In fact, I've had an entire career that exists 99% on a screen in a digital format. It was a really strange experience simply because when you're in a situation, when you're living in the situation, it's impossible to understand how it's truly being perceived and what the situation is until afterwards. And one of the biggest reasons why I filmed everything is so that I could look back and learn from it, look back over it and study what I did right, what I did wrong, where I could take this next. And it's been a huge learning experience. It was very difficult to watch back on all the footage. I filmed everything, and that is this very video. I'm going to show you almost everything. Watching back on it was very difficult because afterwards I felt quite insecure and a little bit like I didn't do a brilliant job. And watching back on it, eventually when I did watch back on it yesterday, I was quite happy. So it's weird to judge a situation when you're in it compared to afterwards when you're looking back over it. So I'm getting used to it. I feel more ready now for my future lectures and my future talks than ever, simply from doing that first one. I now know which way to go, what to do next, and how to do it properly. Now the Bradford Magic Circle, Steve Gore has been inviting me to do a talk there or do something there for about 10 years, and I've never felt ready for it. I've never felt like that's the right platform for me, so I never took him up on the offer until this year. And although I wished I'd have done it sooner, I think this is the right time. The timing was perfect. This is something that I needed to do. This is something that I need to do, so you will see me doing this more often. There's a page on my website right now where I'm going to list all the future events I'm doing. I'm in the middle of planning quite a few right now. I've been invited to the Leeds Magic Circle. Going to do some stuff in Manchester, London, and then go further afield abroad. I'm waiting for invites, so if you want me to turn up and talk or do a lecture at your magic circle or at your function or venue, whatever it is, I'm waiting for the invite, because although I don't feel like it's the right environment for me and I don't feel ready for it, I feel like I need to do it. I need to put myself in that position. So the invite alone would be helpful for me for what I'm going through at the minute and where I want to take my message and my lessons when it comes to talking about magic and teaching magic and sleight of hand. So just before we get to the main video, the actual full talk that I did, which is about half an hour long, thank you so much to Steve Gore for inviting me and setting this up, and thank you for being so persistent and patient with me. Stevie B, thank you for hosting and being so kind to me, and everybody who was there. Everybody made me feel so welcome and comfortable. I invited a few friends for moral support, so you know who you are. Thank you so much. Toby Davis, you filmed everything, as well as Gianni Vox. Between the two of you, the video evidence and the footage that I'm about to show everybody right now wouldn't exist for you guys, so thank you so much. I don't want to waste much more of your time right now talking about the event. I'd rather just show it to you. Now, I have cut a few bits out of the event itself, out of the film, simply because there were messages and there were lessons that I shared that I don't think I really had the right to talk about, which might not make sense, and I'm trying to justify it the best I can. But I mentioned a few names and a few people and a few companies that I worked for, and then watching back, I realized they're not my lessons to share, really. It's not my place to talk about those industry secrets. So to hear that stuff, to hear all the full stuff, you have to be there live, unfortunately. So I think about 15 minutes has been lost from this event, but the main subject and the main things I was talking about is all in this film. So without further ado, I am Daniel Madison. Thanks for your time. I'll join you at the end of this video. This is me live on the 7th of September at the Bradford Magic Circle. Thanks, everyone. If you don't know me, if you do know me, it's probably on a digital level, simply because for the past 20 years I've only really existed online, and I guess that's the same for all magic these days. And that's kind of why I'm trying to do more things like this, like live situations that I'm not used to, and I'm really not used to this neither. So if I'm acting nervous, it's because I'm nervous. Steve's been asking me to be here for quite a long time, and I guess nerves is one of the biggest reasons why I haven't done it. But at the same time, I've kind of been so dedicated to that digital existence for the people that I've worked for and worked with for the past 20 years, where I've had to have full creative control or control over the outcome of how people see me and how I'm perceived. Which I guess when you asked me to come here and talk about YouTube, I didn't want to do that for one simple reason. I don't feel like I'm qualified enough to talk about that as a subject, as a creator on YouTube, simply because I joined YouTube in 2008, I think, and so that's like 10 years ago. And in that 10 years, I've been the most active over the past like 3 or 4 months, simply because I've kind of followed this trend where the magic industry is going. Like, I've seen the direction it's going in, and I'm following it. And usually that's something that I would have kept secret. Like, that's one of the secrets that I would have kept in the past. But I think when you see the magic industry going that way, and when I've seen it going that way, I think it's beneficial for everybody to kind of jump on board and kind of be a part of that, rather than seeing it as a problem. And there are so many problems with like the world of YouTube, especially with magic, and especially with exposure. And I don't want to get into that and talk about, is that for me? Yeah. Especially talk about those problems right now, because I'm not here to talk about the problems, but the benefits of it. And not even that, because when I was thinking about like what I'm going to talk about in terms of YouTube, for me I kept going off into thinking about the importance of social network and the importance of how you're perceived digitally. So when I say that, no one's ever seen me like in real life, in person, because it's always on the screen. It's always on YouTube, it's always on Instagram, it's always, and the end product is completely manipulated. So Steve, you mentioned you appreciate watching the theatre, like the real life thing. I've never had that experience. Not only being part of it, but watching it at the same time. Like I've never been in a position where I've watched it too much. So all I know, the digital outcome, my theatre is a digital screen. So I know that my end product is going to be seen on a screen. And I guess that's the same for everybody in this room. Like the best audience you're going to get is going to be on a screen. And I guess YouTube's the biggest thing for that. Considering that you've got full control over the outcome of that, for me, when I first kind of realized that was going to be my future on a screen, me existing as a digital person, it kind of relieves the nerves of going in to be a performer, because if I can control the end product, and I've got a full director, producer, editing, even the music, if I've got full control, then it's up to me to be happy with the end product. Whereas if somebody else is doing it, or whether you're on stage and you mess up, you make a mistake, you can't fix that in real life. And when it comes to sleight of hand, especially the sleight of hand that I've been practicing and working with for so long, if I mess up on a stage, then that's it. You know, it's messed up. I have to start again, and it's embarrassing. On a screen, I can do a sleight of hand technique, and I can do 100 takes before I get the right one, and you'll see the right one. And that's the truth of it. Like when you see even your best magician, your favorite magician, your favorite performers, when you see them doing sleight of hand, I won't name names because I don't want to bring them into it, but there's some guys out there, the best of the best, where their stage is Instagram or YouTube, and you see them doing incredible things, but you don't see what goes on behind it. You don't see all those failures, all those mess ups, all those retakes, all those start again. So having full control of it, I think that's something that we can seriously take advantage of, or everybody here can take advantage of. If you've got a phone with a touch screen, with a camera on it, then this is your theatre, or this is your gateway to your own personal theatre, your own personal TV show. Saying that, when I first got into the magic industry, I came to the Bradford Magic Circle, I think it was about 20 years ago, and it wasn't really what I was looking for. Like I was really ambitious. I guess everybody who gets into performing, and especially with magic, you want to be the best. And when you look at who's the best in magic, for me, it was looking at TV shows and looking at people who were on TV. Like David Blaine was the highest one, and he was my idol. So I looked at his steps and I thought, how can I do the same thing that he's done to get the same outcome that he's got? So I started copying the same things that he was doing. The only difference was I didn't have the TV show. And the audience was easy. You can go out with a camera, you can film your stuff. When it came to a TV show, wanting a TV show, to cut the long story short, I eventually got a TV show and spent 4 years in production of this TV show that I eventually walked away from, because at the end of it, I didn't have full creative control over the end product. After 4 years of making this product that was about somebody with deceptive skills and somebody doing real crime on film to show how it's done, pickpocketing, stealing cars, all that stuff. When we finally showed the end product, they came back and they were like, we want it to be more like Dynamo. This is hype. This is where it's at right now. So can you incorporate magic with it? So the production company that I was working with, instead of saying no, we want to keep our integrity, we want to keep it as it is, they came to me and said, we want you to do some magic. We'll film some magic on the streets and we'll mix it in. I did it for a few days, and the end product ended up being a complete waste of what it could have been. It would have been a decent TV show, and it was called. Because I walked away from it, they already had a format and they already had a slot to fill, so they got in touch with. Eventually they filled that spot, and what I learned in that was, if I want full control over the presentation and the end product of what I'm doing, which obviously represents me, then I've got to be in full control. I've got to be the director, the editor, the guy who decides which music goes in, and I've got to be the guy who says thumbs up when it goes to the industry, to that digital screen. One of the, if not the only way you can do that now, is on YouTube. Instagram, the social networks, you no longer need somebody to come along and give you a TV show or offer you a TV deal. And I guess most magicians who are becoming successful these days, they don't need a TV company anymore. Like, you're in full control over the outcome of how you are perceived. And I think that's why I stood out a little bit to the industry, because it was all me and it was all my decision making and all. If the company that I was working with wasn't happy with what I'd done or what I was doing, it didn't matter, because it was about me, it was about what I wanted, the way I wanted to be perceived. So if you've got a phone in your pocket with a camera on it,
then you've got your own theatre there, you've got your own production company in your pocket. I've filmed the videos, I've filmed projects, full projects, all on iPhone, telling the people, the powers that be, that it was a complete production, and they bought it because the quality was good enough. So your production company is right here. Nobody's got any excuses. And to wait around for your big break, if that's what people do, I think a lot of people do that. You can't do that because you've got the opportunity right there in your pocket. I've done it. I'm living proof of it. Not this very phone, but iPhones have been the production company behind so much of my material and so much of the material that's brought me attention and put me in positions where I've got these jobs, these incredible jobs that I never thought I'd have. So when you asked about YouTube, I can relate, and YouTube's like the number one platform right now, not just for magic and not just for kind of putting people out there. The social networks are the biggest part of that. And working for other people and waiting for somebody else to come along and make you famous and make you a famous magician, if that's what people are after, it's kind of a waste of time because you've already got it. You've got the skills, you know how to handle a deck of playing cards. Get a tripod, buy a tripod for your iPhone and film 100 takes if that's what it takes. Film 100 takes until you get a right take. Move the camera, get a different angle. Put it into an editing kit that you can get as an app on your phone. And all of a sudden, if you spend time and you just learn these little tricks, you've got an amazing quality production of a video that you would expect to see from a studio, from a big company. It was as simple as sticking up a bed sheet, pinning it to a wall and making that the background white screen, shining a bright lamp, not even a studio light, just a lamp from the front room, just tilt it so it lights up properly, and there you are, you've got this huge production value on a YouTube video that's promoting you. So YouTube for me is as well as the social networks, arguably the thing that's made me, or that's got me to the level that I'm at. And it's all because of the things that I've done, not what other people have done. I've not waited for someone to come along and do it for me, I've done it myself. And I've got the attention from doing that, from just putting those little efforts in, from just taking those small steps. Like Instagram, for example, if you look at my Instagram, you'll see every image is very carefully crafted for a very specific reason, to make me look like this magician, this underground magician, this sleight of hand artist, this character. There's no pictures of me on the beach, because I see the social networks as that's my advertising, that's where people go to find out about me. If they want to book me for a gig, which they do now, the first thing they're going to do is type your name in Google, and they're going to find your website. But not only that, they're going to look at your Instagram and your YouTube. So everything that you do online on the social networks, I discovered, it's an advertisement for you, like for whatever you want, for whatever you want to achieve and what you ever want to do. And those little steps that you see when it comes to YouTube, I figured out way back that if I put a picture up or a video of me doing a sleight of hand technique, and you can see the sink in the background, then people don't want to see that because you're just a regular person, you're a normal person, and people don't go looking for normal people, especially magicians. Like, as magicians, you've got this responsibility to be something more than a human, and somebody more than human who's got these skills. Skills like holding a deck, being able to hold a deck of playing cards.
That was well crafted.
Perfect. If they go there to watch you as an incredible person and this above human person, they see a sink in the background, then all of a sudden you're human. So the digital world for me was all about not being human. So in doing that right from day one, I knew that my future, my life, my job, my career would be as a magician, as a digital magician. That was a choice. That was a choice that you would only ever see me digitally, simply because I'd have full control over how you saw me. And what comes along with that is you don't get to see what I'm like, you don't get to know me. You don't know a thing about me, you just know what I show you, what I present. And when you think about that, going back in time, thinking about the way that I dealt with that, I didn't want to go online and do sleight of hand, do magic tricks, and have like other YouTubers be like, oh, that's terrible, that's rubbish, you should quit, you know, and all this horrible comments you get. Being a character or playing a different character disconnected me from that, so it didn't matter. Because when people said bad things about me, I read those comments and I was like, they're talking about Daniel Madison, and they're not talking about me as a person. So I didn't have to deal with it. The character had to deal with it, which the character didn't, because he became quite an arrogant person, and I'm trying to kind of get rid of that in a way now, because looking back on it, it's kind of, it wasn't the best decision at the time to become that kind of character, to become so removed. But the lessons I got from it in doing that, it gave me the freedom to do whatever I want, and to show tricks and to show sleight of hands online, show sleight of hand techniques online without worrying about what anybody said. So it put me in a position where I did put myself out there, and I forced myself to put myself out there, because the only way that I'm going to get booked for gigs or get any jobs is if people see me doing stuff. And if I get to sit down in front of a camera and start doing sleight of hand techniques and think, oh, I'm not going to put that online because somebody's going to say something bad, and I don't put the video out, that's a potential 1,000 people who are not going to see that video. So I'd rather put a mediocre video out of me doing sleight of hand than me being this character, and get the reactions and have the right people seeing what I was capable of. Even though at the time I didn't believe that I was good, and I still don't think that I'm good, and it's not like a low self-esteem thing. I look at the best people out there and I know I'm nowhere near them, but I can handle a deck of playing cards, and I've got this unique thing, I've got a character, so I've got this person that all of a sudden people are interested in, and all of a sudden it no longer becomes about sleight of hand or magic or playing cards. They were all of a sudden interested in me as a person. And that's one of the things I wanted to bring up when you asked me to come talk about YouTube. I look at so many magicians. I spend all my days looking at magicians online, and I see the same thing over and over again, and the one thing that I don't see is people that stand out to me, that I remember, that I want to watch because of the person, not because of their skill. And it's a shame, and that one little tip could get people so far, and it could be the most beneficial tip I ever give, is to be a character and show yourself, not even act, not pretend to be somebody else like I did, which was wrong, but to be yourself and show people you rather than your hands. One of the biggest reasons why I got hand tattoos is because I was watching back on my sleight of hand videos, and it could have been anybody's hands. You know, you can separate my hands from somebody else in Germany. It could have been anybody. I could say to my friend, seeing that new video that I put up with sleight of hand, I'll show him it on my phone, but really I'm showing him a video from Germany. And he'll be like, oh, you're really good with cards, but it's not really me. I wanted to be recognizable by my hands. I wanted to be recognizable as soon as somebody saw me. And that's something that I've noticed people don't do. I'm not saying everybody go get your hands tattooed. I'm saying show yourself, show your character, because that's how I got picked up by companies. That's why people started to share me and talk about me, because they weren't talking about my skill. They weren't talking about what I could do with playing cards, because I'm not good. I'm acceptable. I know I'm acceptable, and I accept, and I've come to terms with that. I'm not amazing, but I don't have to be. I've got to be the best version of myself, which is a character, which is humans, it's kind of innate to relate or to be fascinated by things that are different to us. And for me, I had to make myself different, so I got tattoos. I wouldn't necessarily, to be honest, I'm not even a fan of my tattoos, let alone tattoos in general, but it was a big part of becoming a character, not becoming somebody else, but putting on a mask, putting on a show, because it's a show, you know. As soon as we get up with playing cards, as soon as we decide to show somebody a magic trick, we're putting on a show. We're creating a moment, a theatrical moment. And that's what I was doing with everything.
Yeah, your first magical effect's yourself, isn't it? Your first magical effect is you, straight away. Yeah. Because you're iconic there. It's
incredible how people don't pick up on that, or people don't try to use that, I guess. I guess from what I've seen, what I kind of pick up, and especially working for companies where people want to stand out and they want to be noticed, so they send videos and they're like, please notice me and please like my trick and stuff. But when you watch that video, there's nothing to watch other than the trick. Now, I appreciate watching good magic and good sleight of hand and good tricks just like everybody else does. But if you mix that with style, I guess, and imagery and character most of all, I think that was my best secret. It's not even a secret because it's on display, you know, it's here. And the fact that I'd separate myself from the character Daniel Madison, so I was kind of acting like my manager, like I was managing this character Daniel Madison. The fact that I'd separate from it, there was no responsibility like on what the character did. Like he obviously had to be good with playing cards and be good with what he did, but he could do whatever he wanted. You know, he became arrogant, he became confident, he became all the things that I really wasn't, and that was a big part of the theatrical side of it. So when you're making a video, even an Instagram post, Instagram's designed for you take a picture, you put a filter on it, you put it on there, and you wait for likes, you wait for comments. For me, an Instagram post can take an entire day because I need to set up the shot, I need to edit on my MacBook, I need to make sure everything's perfect, I need to delete out things in the background that you probably wouldn't even notice. And then I've got to upload it to Instagram and play around with the filters, and then it goes up. And the biggest secret in that is making it look like I haven't spent much time on it. Because when you see it, you want to see something that represents me or my characteristics or what I stand for. You're no different from me. Magicians are no different from me. You're doing magic for a reason. You're performing magic for a reason. And the end result, whatever it is in your mind, if you want to be recognized, if you want to be respected, and you want that reputation, it all starts with you and it all ends with you. No one's going to do it for you. And the windows that you have to reach people, it's just the social networks. It's like, for me, it's Instagram, YouTube. I forget the others. Instagram and YouTube because it's imagery, the videos, the pictures. I'm putting out things that represent me, the way that I want you to perceive me. And you're all in the same position. Everybody who does magic, if you want that recognition, if you want to be remembered, or if you want to be known, or you want to build your reputation based on your sleight of hand and your magic, you got to put in that tiny bit more effort. And above all, character. That's I say it's my biggest secret, but it's not. I find it funny because it's here. Like I'm the character right here. And because I'm playing a character, I get to act and I get to be more, I get to put on the face and the mask and the clothes, and because when the camera turns off, I can sit back down, get a cup of coffee, and it's not real. And I think with magic, if I try to make this real, if I try to make playing cards and performance, if I try to do it as myself, as the real Daniel Madison, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. You wouldn't have tattoos, and it'd be more fun, I guess. It'd be just like a hobby kind of thing, I guess, if that makes sense. But because I'm serious about it, because from day one I knew that this would be my career, this would be where I make money, I took it serious to the point where I got my fingers tattooed. Because I want to be recognized by one finger, let alone my hands. And that level of commitment, I guess if you want to be successful to the highest level in the magic industry, which is a weird thing. When I came to magic, I wanted to be the highest level, but somewhere along the way I became something a lot lower than that within the magic industry, and I didn't leave the magic industry, so I became successful in the magic industry. Now I've got people coming to me saying, I want the same job as you, I want what you had, like I want to be like you. And I'm thinking, well, that's strange because this position isn't supposed to exist. Somebody in my position within the magic industry, people growing up wanting to be creators, working for, shouldn't exist. Like the whole point of magic and performance is to not be encapsulated, and to not be caged in by that, but to be out in the world. I'm in this really strange position where I've always performed or created knowing that it's just magicians who are going to watch it, and knowing that it's just magicians who are going to see their end product. And that's a bizarre thing as a performer, knowing that the only people watching me are performers. It's a very strange thing. It's no ambition wanting to be reputable within the industry. I don't believe. Maybe some people disagree. I don't know, but I've been there, and it's not a good position because I want to be a performer. And first and foremost, I'm a performer, and that means I have to get as far away from magicians as possible to find real people who can't figure out the method and can't work out the method. So going to conventions and spending time with magicians is, I wouldn't say damaging, but it's not good. It's not good at all for, like, you show somebody in the magic industry or something you've been working on for a long time that a regular person might look at and say, oh my God, that's incredible. Show it to magicians. I know how that works. Oh yeah, I've got another method for that. Or that's Marlowe, that's one of Marlowe's so YouTube's going to take over the direction of the way people see magic, I think. It's going to take over more than it hasn't already. And not for the sake of exposure, not for the sake of what people worry about. A lot of magicians worry about exposure, like, oh, this trick's going to get exposed on YouTube, or you see somebody exposing tricks on YouTube and you worry. Like, a lot of my stuff's been exposed on YouTube, and I don't care too much for one reason. It brings attention to me, but it also brings attention to that subject, which people seem to love talking about. I don't see it as a problem, especially when it comes to sleight of hand, intricate sleight of hand, because if anything, I love to expose sleight of hand techniques, because then you get respect and credit for how difficult it is. It's different with magic and theatrical magic and stage magic, but certainly with close-up magic and sleight of hand with playing cards. A lot of sleight of hand with playing cards, in fact, looks more beautiful from the wrong angle than it does from the right angle. And I try and put that in as many videos as possible. With YouTube itself, I think my one message about YouTube is to grasp it. If you haven't already, get an account, start filming stuff, because if this is going to take over and this is going to be the future of magic, surely we all need to be a part of it, and we all need to share. If people go to YouTube, first of all, to search for magic and find out more about magic, surely we should put ourselves on YouTube to get those people who are searching to see the real YouTube. Because for every one person exposing tricks and exposing magic and talking badly about it, there's got to be people talking good about it. And there's not enough, I don't think. So that's kind of why I'm so active on YouTube at the minute. I'm trying to bring attention to sleight of hand and magic and playing cards, especially, in a very positive light. At the same time with YouTube, in terms of what people are used to with YouTube, which is vlogs and showing real life, that's something I've never done. So although it's still a digital wall, I'm trying to show a real side of me so that people can see the difference between a real person and a character too. And I think talking about playing a character and playing a role, because it is theatre, when actors get on stage, they play characters. We're magicians, we're actors, we need to play characters. Obviously we need to be ourselves, but at the same time you've got to bear in mind you're a character, and you've got a responsibility to make magic look incredible and be perceived as an amazing art. And to do that, getting on film with a sink in your background, doing whatever, it's not good. So those little efforts and those little tips. But that's one thing that that's my one thing that I wanted to end on with YouTube. We need to grasp it and we need to be a part of it. That's going to be the future platform for us, because it's film. Instagram, yeah, there are videos and there's pictures on there. But YouTube doesn't give you any limits with time. It doesn't give you any limits with what you talk about. If you're waiting for a TV show to come along, don't wait. It might happen, it probably won't. It happened for me, and I realized the hard way that it was the wrong thing. You've got full creative control, not only over yourself and what you're doing, but you're a representative of an entire art form. And if you're given the opportunity that you're given, which is a free YouTube account, show some cool stuff that you've learned and that you're good at and that you can do. Show your character, show yourself, so that people are interested. in magicians as much as they're interested in magic, then surely that's a win for us, you know, for us as a community, as an industry, you know. Future of magic is strong, but you know, it's up to us, so we can sit back and complain about what YouTube's doing and how bad it can be, or we can take it and steer it in the right direction as representatives. And I think that's kind of what I'm trying to do. I'm still trying to figure it out. It's early days, but we'll see. And I think I'm done because I need a drink because my mouth's but saying that, I'm not used to these situations and these environments, and I want to get the cards out and do some stuff, but I think that's got to be like a personal thing, like where we interact and do things. So I think we'll end the stage thing here, and you know, unless people have questions, you know, I'm happy to talk about anything else.
Well, there may be some questions, but I'll ask just while we have a break. Would you like us to remodel the room so you can have a more intimate seating then?
I think it's more about just kind of walking around, getting to know people and getting cards out, you know. But before anybody starts moving around, I think there's enough for one deck for everybody, but they're free, them playing cards.
All right, thank you.
So please try to do one each, because there might not be enough, but they're free. They're from me. So thanks for your time.
So that is it. There was a little bit cut out of there. You probably noticed there are a few bits cut out, but I had no choice. On a moral level and on a business level, there are a few bits of information that I had to remove from there, which will remain a secret to the people who were in that room. I will be doing more of these. I will be doing more lectures, more talks, more teaching, sleight of hand, and talking about the psychology of performance and execution of sleight of hand, and all that is encompassed within the deceptive practices from my personal experience. More events on the way, looking forward to taking more bookings too, and moving further afield out into the world. There's an email address, I'm going to leave it in this video description. Get in touch, I'm waiting for the invite. Once again, thank you to everybody who was a part of the event, everybody who's there to support me and show me some love. Thank you so much, whoever was a part of it. Thank you guys for staying with me and watching this experience. Let me know what you think in the comments below. I try my best to get to the comments and reply and respond to every single person. I am Daniel Madison, thanks for being here. See you next time.